Welcome to our Firebird Database Administrator training, covering the topics presented at IP Experts Firebird School, held by Holger Klempt and Jason Chapman as part of the International Firebird Conference 2007. We'll continue in this session with a look at configuring aliases, files and paths. Normally, when you connect to a database, you use a connection string, which consists of the server name, a colon, and the path to the database. This information tells the client where it should send its data to. There are a number of reasons why it is better to use an alias instead of the full connection string. In earlier versions of Interbase, you could have connection strings with spaces in, and the spaces would get removed and the Interbase server engine would think that they were different physical databases, which is bound to corrupt your transaction page straight away. Also, aliases obfuscate the physical location of the database, which A, allows you to move it, and B, means that no one has a clue what's on the inside of your server. And the less people know what's on the inside of your server, the less chance they've got of creating external files and filling up your hard drive with them and manipulating data structure and generally causing your database to crash. And the specified server is running on this machine, then I can access it. For example, this server can be found at localhost 3021. 3021 is the port number which I defined in my configuration file. If this isn't specified explicitly, then it automatically searches the default port 3050. With the help of the TCP/IP protocol, it doesn't matter how many Firebird servers are installed on localhost, it searches for the version on port 3021. The server here is a Firebird 2.1 version. Normally, I enter the complete path to the database here. But what if I move my database on this server from the D drive to the E drive because D is full? If all clients still search on D, you'll have a problem. You'll need to alter the connection path on each client. If you define an alias in the alias.conf file from the start, this problem will not arise. To specify an alias, simply go to the alias.conf file where you can see the example. This is then read on the service's startup. Here, I define the alias db1 with the full connection string to the Firebird server. db1 equals C, path, and then db1.fdb. There are no syntactical limitations to the naming of an alias. This alias definition is only on the server. The client now defines his connection as server name / port number / alias name. Here in our example, localhost / 3021 db1. The client does not need any more information. alias.conf shows the server where the client needs to connect. Conflicts occasionally occur when you want to give your database file a certain name, and the file suffix is gdb. If you are using Windows XP, your system will probably recognize these files as a component of the Windows System Restore. The problem with this is, when you have a file with the ending gdb and you open it, an XP machine with default settings makes a copy of this file before allowing you access. The standard operating system settings apportion so much memory for the system restore, even large database files are copied before opening if there is room. Unfortunately, there is no documentation in the MSDN library from Microsoft that explains why they've included this GDB suffix. If you need to access an application using a hard-coded GDB file, then simply create an alias with another suffix, for example FDB. C db1.gdb equals C db1.fdb. Remember, there are no syntactical limitations for naming an alias. We'll save our example here. You can see here that in spite of the alias definition, I can still connect to the original database file directly from another application if I know where it's located. In the Firebird configuration file, there's a parameter database access equals none, which means only file locations set in alias.conf are available. But why should I say the database server is not allowed to access a database file? None simply means here that the file locations are only taken from the alias.conf file. The server cannot use any other specifications but can only use the alias.conf definitions. In this way, you can specify that if someone has a username defined on your server, he cannot create a database file because it is not possible to specify an alias remotely. So, that was our introduction to configuring aliases, files and paths. A transcript of this tutorial can be downloaded by all IB Expert registered full version holders from the customer download area at www.ibexpert.com. All topics presented here are also documented in detail on our website. We'll continue now with part 5 of our tutorial series, Basics for DB Admins, where we will take a closer look at the Firebird configuration file. Goodbye for now, and thank you from all of us at IB Expert.